News 3 WSIL. Here's what's happening right now.
Good Wednesday morning. Tracking a little wet weather that could impact some of your weekend plans. I'll have the latest coming up.
And making news headlines, we are following up on the Veterans Honor Flight number 7. We'll hear from veterans after making the trip.
Plus, we introduce you to a local law professor who's changing lives across the world and locally in this week's Unsung Hero.
And I'm live in Carterville with more on the return of the car show.
We've got you covered. From WSIL, this is News 3 This Morning.
Well, good morning to you all on this Wednesday. I'm Evie Allen.
And I'm Dave Davis. And Evie, we are just speeding right on through the week. I'm enjoying it.
That's all right by me.
Beautiful weather helps make that happen. Storm Track 3 meteorologist Nick Housen here with us. Nick, hopefully we're going to stay dry for a little longer.
You know, my favorite part here over the last couple of weeks is really I haven't had to mow grass.
Yeah.
Actually, I have once.
There you go. So, you know, I mean, it's been, yes, the mornings have been great. The afternoons probably a little on the hot side for this time of year, at least hotter than what we expect. Live view from Mount Vernon, mostly clear skies overhead. Temperatures overnight dipping back into the upper 50s and the lower 60s. Currently 62 degrees in Marion. We've got 58 in Carbondale, 57 at this hour in Mount Vernon. Still 58 as well into Harrisburg and lower 60s from Paducah to Cape. This afternoon, quite a bit of sunshine still sticking around. Temperatures, though, into the middle 80s. So still on the warm side, light breeze from the south and the east, and a small chance for a few pop-up showers and storms, mainly back into the Missouri Ozarks. Those rain chances continuing to increase towards the weekend. I'll have it all run down. Come here in just a bit.
All right, thanks for that, Nick. Well, in our top stories, a big welcome home for our veterans. Yay! As they made a one-day trip to Washington, D.C.
Last night, Veterans Honor Flight number 7 returned safely home. Now, we've had special coverage of Honor Flight 7 since it departed early yesterday morning. Dave and I both have had the honor of going with
absolutely.
veterans on the trips. Now, while in D.C., veterans visited landmarks honoring the wars they fought in and the comrades they lost. Now, News 3 spoke with a few families who were so excited and proud to see their loved ones on the flight.
The flight was good. There were a lot of veterans. We had things in common. We were brothers and sisters. We thought it was important enough to join the armed forces or be drafted because of love of our country. When we went in to swear in, we said, "I do," and that "do" meant I was willing to die for my country.
Well, 12 other veterans planned to be on the flight, but they passed away. Veterans honored their welcome with a tribute at the beginning of the event.
Switching gears now, Ziegler Crime Watch Group wants to educate residents on drug trends in Illinois. The director of the Southern Illinois Drug Task Force held a meeting last night where he went over the different types of meth and butane hash oil labs that local police come across. Ziegler Police Chief Ben Berkheimer says he hopes the meeting encourages more residents and other Crime Watch groups to be alert.
That portion of it is not legal. They need to buy it from a dispensary. Some of them are getting it illicitly, and they're making the butane hash oil themselves. If they see someone walking down the street carrying a can of ether, that would be something they would want to report.
He says the group has maintained about a dozen members since it formed 2 months ago.
Well, another group in Jackson County is hoping to help curb gun violence. Carbondale United wants to find ways to fight gun violence, and that comes as the FBI says gun-related killings in the U.S. are at their biggest increase in 60 years. That's based on data from last year that says those killings rose to 30%. Carbondale United held an online forum with local leaders and organizations. The organizers say they've come up with ideas for new programs geared for kids and adults.
I don't want to see another person die. That's the main and biggest important reason. The other reason is SIU. It's the glue that holds Carbondale together. If people start feeling like it's not safe to send their kids here, we lose that glue.
That was Nancy Maxwell, who also says she plans to have another meeting soon.
Well, the city of Marion honors a man who helped during a recent kidnapping case. During last night's city council meeting, resident Solomon Aguilar received a certificate and a medallion for his efforts. Police contacted Aguilar on the morning of September 8th to help translate for a woman reportedly taken from Tennessee. Aguilar says the honor came as a shock after just doing the right thing.
I just did it because, like I say, they needed help, and then I wanted to help out, even though I didn't even know the lady, but I was happy to do it, and I'll do it again if I have to.
Now, the kidnapper in that case, Wilmer Batista, faces multiple felony charges. He made his first court appearance yesterday, where a judge sent the case to a jury trial. A pretrial is set for December 20th.
Well, controversy continues over SIH's vaccine mandate. Employees have three options: get the vaccine, request medical or religious exemption, or face termination. Some local health professionals say they're frustrated over the exemption after their requests have been denied. One local nurse who wishes to remain anonymous claims she was never told why her request was denied.
My HR director was the one that sent me the email stating I was denied. I asked her for a response. She said she was not given one.
A local nursing student says she was just 2 weeks into her program when the mandate came down. She says she wasn't given the option to request an exemption. SIH says it grants medical and religious exemptions during a rigorous review process. But the Liberty Council is threatening litigation, saying SIH discriminated against employees' civil rights.
Well, doctors say a COVID diagnosis can be devastating for smokers. In a new study, smokers who get COVID are 80% more likely to be hospitalized. They're also at a higher risk of dying from the virus. Research says being a smoker, though, does not mean you'll catch COVID-19 easier.
Another issue smokers face is lung damage. That, combined with a COVID-19 case, could mean long-term health problems.
News 3's Julie Williams spoke with Dr. Gurpreet Bhamra, a pulmonologist with SIH, and he goes into great detail about how the virus attacks our lungs after getting infected.
So the point I want to get across today is that COVID is more than a pneumonia. Okay, COVID is much more than just an infection of the lung. It is also a immune system dysregulation. So what happens is that when the virus goes into the body, yes, it infects the lungs. Okay, it causes the pneumonia. However, the body goes into overdrive. Okay, it produces a lot of chemicals or a cascade of immune, substances, which originally are actually there to protect us, but once they go into an overdrive, causes a lot of harm into the body. So when it comes to the lungs, I describe COVID to my patients and their relatives as a hurricane. It comes and it literally rips the lining of the lung apart. Okay, and when that lining is destroyed, the next step is exactly I would like you to visualize a bruise on your arm. You know, if there is a big bruise on your arm, what happens? The fluid seeps out, right?
Yeah.
So when that lining of the lung is kind of like damaged, this starts to collect a thick fluid over there, and it becomes difficult for oxygen to exchange into the body. So the air sacs are filled with that fluid, the person cannot breathe, and literally they are kind of like smothering without oxygen. Okay. Wow. Most of the patients, it's self-limited. You know, they get pneumonia, we give them care, and they get better, they go home. But in a fraction of the patients which we see, they become very, very sick, requiring, you know, a significant higher amount of oxygen, mechanical ventilation, and other modalities just to survive.
And of course, you can hear the rest of what the doctor had to say on our website. There's the full interview there.
Tonight, News 3 speaks to Dr. Junaid Haroon with SIH. If you have a question you want him to answer, leave that on our Facebook page.
Well, Paducah police honor the service of a retired K-9 officer. Junior served on the force for more than 8 years. He retired in June of last year. Yesterday, the Paducah Police Department shared its condolences on Facebook for Junior's handler, Captain Nathan Antoniades.
Finding Forever Animal Rescue is hosting a Heartland Pet Fest this weekend. Now, it's located at the Oasis Event Center this Saturday from 10 to 4. There'll be food trucks, vendors, and you'll get a chance to adopt a dog or cat. There's a cash-only vaccine and microchip clinic for 10 in the morning to 1. You can bring any of your pets to this. Cat adoption fees are lowered if you want to take home a kitty or two.
Or two.
Well, you know.
You can't just have one, you gotta have multiple, right? You gotta have a friend. Temperatures this morning back into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Very pleasant the last few mornings. Not too hot, not too cool. And we should have a gorgeous sunrise coming up there in the eastern sky as well. Now this afternoon, it's gonna be another hot one, but maybe you plan on trying to go for a morning jog or maybe even an afternoon hike. Should be some decent weather for that. Just make sure you're staying hydrated. Rain chances begin to increase, especially towards the end of the weekend into the weekend. We'll time out some of that wet weather coming up.
Thank you, Nick. Well, now we're going to check in with Brooke, who's live in downtown Carterville this morning.
Well, but she's talking more about this motorcycle, and it's at a family-friendly event that's taking place on Friday. So, Brooke, what can residents and visitors look forward to?
Yeah, good morning, Evie and Dave. Well, it's going to be a great time here in downtown Carterville on Friday night. There's going to be trucks, cars, motorcycles, vendors, and live music. Alpha Yin when News 3 This Morning returns.
You want me to move that chair?
No, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. It is 6:14, and the city of Carterville is planning another way for the community to get together and is inviting everyone out to it. They're holding a car, truck, and bike show this Friday, and Brooks Lyer is there live this morning with a sneak peek. Brooke?
Yeah, good morning, Dave. Well, right now I'm in downtown Carterville, and come this Friday night, the whole street right here behind me will be lined with those cars, trucks, and motorcycles. It's a great way for the family, to come out and have some free fun. And joining me this morning is Chrissy Hollister with the city of Carterville. Now, Chrissy, like many events, last year this had to be canceled, put on hold. So what does it mean to be able to bring this back to the community?
Well, it means a lot. Marcy and Kevin Carrier with the cars downtown have done a great job organizing, bringing people back. So it's just a good way to see some cool cars, window shop with some vendors.
And we did talk about the vendors a little bit earlier, but for those people who are just tuning in, what are some of the vendors that they can expect?
There's going to be shirts, paparazzi, Mary Kay, an auto detail shop will be here with some stuff, just a variety.
Awesome. Another thing that's going to be happening right down here is some, live music. That way people can look at the cars, kind of walk around and kind of, hear some good tunes to go along with that. So tell me a little bit about the music they'll be playing. So it's always nice to have some music to listen to.
Yeah, there'll be a DJ. There'll also be like silent auction items. He'll be doing raffles, giveaways. He'll announce the winners, the trophies. So he plays a big part in it also.
Absolutely. And all this goes to a good cause. All those who want to participate, we're talking those people who will be driving in their cars, their trucks, and motorcycles, will pay an entry fee into the car show and fill people in on what that will go to.
We always have a wish list of, just kind of in the hole for the next project. So we just knocked out the mural project. So we always have a list of things that we'd like to go, keep going, keep the momentum going. So that will go into the beautification fund.
And, again, this will be happening right here in downtown Carterville on Friday night from 5:30 to 9 o'clock. So a great way to have the community come out, something fun to do on a Friday. But for now, Nick, I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to you with a look at today's weather.
Yeah, good Wednesday morning. Very pleasant morning outside. Should have a gorgeous sunrise coming up in the eastern sky as well. We are expecting a few more clouds today, but temperatures still remaining on the hot side here for the last few days of September. Live view from Poplar, Bluff right now, and you can see a few more clouds there in the distance. That may be what we've seen over the last couple of mornings. There is some patchy fog, especially in some of the rural areas, some of the low-lying areas. We have seen that thickest out across parts of northwest Tennessee, but Poplar Bluff reporting 61 degrees. Dew points have been running into the upper 50s and lower 60s as well. So another warm afternoon here for the last few days of September. Average temperatures back into the upper 70s. We're talking about temperatures today about 10 degrees warmer than that. A small chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms mainly this afternoon and mainly back into parts of the Missouri Ozarks. Rain chances at least through tomorrow are quite a bit lower into southern Illinois and western Kentucky. However, by the end of the week, they do become a bit more widespread and expecting that to eventually spread eastward in the east of the Mississippi River. There's a few more of the clouds we're talking about in some of our far western counties. Meanwhile, across southern Illinois, western Kentucky, we've got mostly clear skies overhead. And of course, we've got you covered into southern Illinois from Mount Vernon to Pinckneyville today up to about 86 degrees, a light breeze this afternoon from the south and the east. Marion over towards Harrisburg and Ridgeway also up to about 86, and Carbondale to Anna up to about 87 degrees, upper 80s as well from Wickliffe southward over towards Clinton, Kentucky, and Martin, Tennessee to Union City, Tennessee as well, up to about 85. If we see any showers and thunderstorms develop this afternoon, it will likely be in some of our far western counties. We're really talking anywhere from about Highway 67 and areas to the west. Chances overall still pretty low, though, only about a 20% chance. And notice the chance is not even there across parts of southern Illinois and western Kentucky. So nothing worth canceling your plans over today. We do expect moisture to continue to increase. We've got a stalled boundary just to our north and to our east, and a big area of low pressure also developing right over top of the Rocky Mountains. It's pulling moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to increase those rain chances in the coming days. There's those little pop-up showers we're talking about. This is lunchtime today, and notice where they are, mainly over towards, say, Ellington, Missouri, Donovan, possibly over towards Van Buren, Missouri as well, eastward. Very low rain chances, and it's going to stay that way through Thursday. It looks like most of the wet weather will stay west of the Mississippi River. Chances quite a bit lower into southern Illinois and western Kentucky. So projected rainfall through Thursday. We actually could see some pockets of pretty heavy rainfall, especially Thursday afternoon from some of those showers and storms. Notice the rain amounts very, very light across southern Illinois and southeast or in western Kentucky. But rain chances continue to become a little more widespread and area-wide Friday and Saturday and possibly even into the second half of the weekend. Nothing at this point that says widespread rain, but we're likely going to be dealing with some hit-and-miss showers and thunderstorms pretty much every day here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, temperatures also trending a little cooler. We'll drop back into the upper 70s by the weekend and continuing to see temperatures drop back into the lower 70s by the middle of next week. Hard to believe, guys, we're going to be starting the month of October coming up on Friday. So next week, the first week of October, and maybe starting to feel a bit more like fall as temperatures at least dipping back into the lower 70s.
Thank you.